Hello everyone, welcome to Gamecidal Maniacs streaming. I'm just, alright. I'm hoping that we don't have the same issues yesterday with the stream deciding it's going to absolutely freak out and be terrible looking the entire time. So, with any luck, we're not going to have that issue. I know that last time when we started, we had a bit of that issue, so, hoping that is not the case this time. Today on the agenda is beating Crash Bandicoot Warped and starting and probably getting a chunk of the way through Wrath of Cortex. And oh boy, am I going to have a lot to talk about with Wrath of Cortex. The amount that I can talk about a game sometimes seems proportional to how much I hate it. I acknowledge this isn't the best thing. Makes me seem like a terrible, petty person. But, good God, I absolutely hate Wrath of Cortex. And good God, I am not going to shut up about it. Let me know if you guys aren't... Okay, yeah. I was just gonna say, let me know if you guys are having some trouble with the stream at all. Seems to be working just fine for me, but I want to make sure that it's fine for you guys. Yeah, just let me know if there are any issues that make it so you can't watch. At the moment, it looks fine. So we are going to go ahead and fight N. Jin. This is actually my favorite boss when I was a kid. I love the shmup kind of style it has. And... you know, even though it's not, like, the best graphics ever, I always did like the stylization they did with the, models. They don't look ugly or anything, they just look different. Also, I always thought this boss was a nice evolution of what they were trying to do with the N. Jin boss in the first game. Already doing a little terribly, but that is okay. Because this is not the hardest boss in the world, I just gotta get used to the shmups style that it has again. Gotta make sure I focus my targets as well, so that I'm not just shooting at nothing. I don't know, this is just a really fun boss. Has a lot of cool stuff going on with it. I love the upgrade that Pura gives you, and the fact that it probably does nothing, but it's still relatively cool that it, like, gives you a upgrade to your main gun. I'm getting my ass kicked right now. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, am I gonna die? Oh, this is not gonna go well. Get ready for a take 2 on this one. Alright. Actually... might have this. Yeah, as long as I don't let a missile hit me, I might actually have this. Helps that the missiles tend to fly right in front of your guns. So that's good. Really should have worked from one side in. Oh, I could have the missiles grouped in a nice little line for me to shoot down. Shit! Ah, with one left. That's okay. Now I've got my bearings. This shouldn't be so hard a second time. Especially if I take less damage round one this time. Which is not very hard to do, I just royally fucked it up my first run. Like that! I may as well quit now. So I'm pretty sure there's no way to get more health over the course of this boss. Boss? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no way to get more health over the course of this boss. So did my stream drop out? It better not have. Hold on, guys. Okay. For a second there, I really thought that the stream went under, but I guess it's fine. I'm getting the video output low thing again, like I was yesterday, but... Yay, I get to go bitch at Time Warner Cable some. That's fun. Whatever. God damn it! No, 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 no. I don't want to die. I used to be able to get through this boss in one try. Back when I was a youngin'. Probably because I played it like 100 times. I actually would go back and just play this one boss for fun. Which sounds pathetic, I'm aware, but oh well. Alright. Might actually be able to do this in one shot this time. Well, I mean, I might actually be able to do it this time, not in one shot, obviously. That ship has obviously sailed. I'm not having a good time with that. There we go. Yay. That boss is over. Alright, last warp room. Let's do this. Now that I have the bazooka, which is situational at best. I don't know. As a kid, it was always cool to have the bazooka. It was just like a cool thing to use. But as I've gotten older, it's like, and the point of this was, I actually use it on this thing. Yeah, you can pretty much kill everything with this. I actually did like the bit of Mega Man-ness that a lot of the things in Wrath of Cortex had, or not Wrath of Cortex, goddammit, Crash Bandicoot 3 had. The fact that a lot of times it gave you basically free license to make levels easier for yourself is kind of cool. And of course it means that you never really have to miss a box anymore, which is kind of cool. Except for these. So I'm not even going to attempt, because you have to go through an incredibly convoluted process to get all the crates in this level, and I am just not having it. I'll get what I can, though. Obviously, I'm not going to just pass up free crates. Hey, I assume that's supposed to say Finland, but nice to have an international viewer. God damn it, if I can speak. Oh, and of course, happy first day of summer, everyone. It's officially technically the first day of summer. Longest day of the year and all that. Which is pretty nifty. doop. You're welcome. There we go. I always love that. So, in case you guys don't know, they didn't use a true reflection in this game. They actually opted to have another crash rendered behind mirrors and shit. So there are random times where you can actually make mirror crash come out of nowhere, and it's kind of hilarious. This is another thing that I loved about this game. The fact that it did such a good job of basically giving you places to use the power-ups in interesting ways because of the bonus levels. It gives you a good excuse without having to gives you a good excuse to have a challenge without interrupting the regular flow of the level. And I'm not going to lie, Riku, going out with friends and just gaming and chilling all day sounds pretty wonderful. I luckily do actually have a wife who games with me, so it is the dream. So I have a kind of built-in gaming buddy, which is wonderful. The love and support and, you know, all that stuff is wonderful as well. Ah, shit. Thought I could get through the level without losing my mask. I don't know if I can just... There we go, and dead. I don't think I've ever actually been to Desukon. I actually have not been to many conventions, period. So, how was it? I'd love to get to more conventions, but without outing myself too horrifically much, I live in a northeastern area that has essentially no conventions. The nearest big conventions are like Anime Boston and stuff like that. And even that is a good long, many, like, hours travel from where I live. So, yeah. I don't get to go to many conventions, unfortunately. I really thought that the last motorcycle level was the last one that wasn't a hidden level. Shoot, I do despise these levels. The last one took me 3 tries, I think, to get the crystal, and shit. I'm sorry to anyone who is in the chat. At the moment, the most vocal person is definitely Riku, but I might not immediately respond. I only have the chat up on my phone, so yeah, well, that would be why I haven't heard of Desukon before. Must have been a lot of fun, though. Heard Finland is a wonderful place to go visit and potentially live. Yeah, I know how you feel about buying figures and things like that. Merch at the very few smaller conventions I've gone to, merch has been my goddamn weakness. Even stupid shit like a low quality scouter from DBZ was enough to make me whip out my wallet. But you want to have something to take away from the convention, so, you know. Oh, God. I am not a big fan of these levels. I don't think they're very fun. They're actually fairly difficult. Especially when you suck at them like I apparently do. Oh, God. Alright, if I can just get ahead of this asshole, though. Oh, fucker. Well, that might actually do it for me for the level. I don't think I can make this up in time. Nope. Alright, gonna be another go for me. Oh boy, this might end up... The Crash Bandicoot Warped part of the stream might actually end up taking longer than I thought it would. Great. I'm sure they were really excited about this level when they were developing it, and it's like, oh look, it's cool, it's like, you know, racing with a motorcycle and stuff. Super cool. All that shit, but god damn it, do I hate these levels. They don't mesh well. Okay, you know what? I was gonna save this for my Wrath of Cortex discussion, but here's my problem with this level, and it's gonna come up a lot more with Wrath of Cortex. It's about game feel. You see, every vehicle level, at least the vehicle levels in 1 and 2, for the most part did something fairly right. They preserved game feel. In this level, you have almost none of that. See, what I'm talking about is a platforming level, you know exactly what you're in for. Go from one end of the level to the other while avoiding obstacles, jumping, and yes, it is very good they didn't make CTR like this. And my favorite game right now? Shit. That's a really good question. I'll get back to my conversation. I want to answer this question, though. My favorite game right now? Huh. Well, I've been going back and playing some more Breath of the Wild lately. I took a actually quite long break from it and decided to start playing it again because I am nowhere near finding everything and there's still shit to do. And I need to use my Switch for something, so Breath of the Wild is something I've been playing a lot. I've been enjoying these live streams lately, actually, quite a bit. And, because I never really, like... Okay, so I used to be super into Assassin's Creed, as most of the gaming public was, back when it was popular and good. I actually dropped out around the time of Revelations. I actually took a long break between playing Brotherhood and Revelations. And when I tried to get back into the series with Revelations, I actually kind of hated it. And then I'm like, well, everyone's raving about Assassin's Creed 3, so I'll just pick up there. I mean, that's got to be better, right? That was unfortunate. But yeah, I got back into Assassin's Creed Revelations lately, and I don't hate it. So I guess it's sad that that's the most glowing review I can give of it. I don't hate it. But I've been enjoying that lately. Yeah. Alright, so, game feel. So, whenever you're playing a Crash Bandicoot platforming level, your intention is to go from one end of the level to the other while avoiding enemies and jumping over pits. Or avoiding obstacles in general, including enemies and jumping over pits. Now let's talk about the vehicle sections. The vehicle sections were okay in Crash 1 and 2 because they kept the same feeling. You were going from one end of the level to the other, while basically with the same, and a big part of this, with the same controls, essentially, but with an alteration to gameplay. Now, you can even say this about levels like the chase levels. It's the same thing, but with a gimmick. In the chase levels, it's the fact that you'll get flattened by a boulder if you don't go fast enough, or a polar bear. I'm not going to make this. Oh, I made it. But levels like Hog Wilds have a bit of a different... Goddammit. Really, if you really play it, the only difference is you go a bit faster and you can't stop going forward. That's really the only difference in Hog Wild between the control setup in Hog Wild and the rest of the game. Now, this is actually where my issue with, say, the flying levels and the motorcycle levels really comes into play. It's that one alteration in gameplay in Hog Wild that makes it feel okay. Another example is, say... So, let's take the close equivalent to Hog Wild in this game. The levels with the motorcycles. You are still moving from the beginning of the level to the end of the level. and you're still avoiding obstacles and going, just avoiding obstacles and getting to the end of the level is basically what the whole deal is. However, they make a huge change. The controls don't respond in almost any way similar. Your turning feels stiff, slow, unresponsive. Your acceleration is odd and changed by external things a little too much. Yes, you can say this is also true of some of the other levels mentioned, like, there are some other places where speed is altered in this particular game by things like a boost pad or something like that. But they're far and few between, and you still have complete control when these sections do come up. This is a big thing. Not only are you having your control wrestled away from you... Sorry, just wanted to kill that. Not only are you having control wrestled away from you in these odd sections, goddammit, but you're put into unfamiliar settings with unfamiliar obstacles, and then on top of that, they add different objectives on top of that. For instance, getting through the level in first, like without letting any of the other cars kill you. This is actually highly problematic. At first you wouldn't think this would be an issue, but it's actually an enormous issue. Sorry, trying to concentrate on gaming while also explaining this. This creates a complete dissonance with your standard levels. It means that what you're playing doesn't feel like what you've been playing. And this means that what you've basically spent time accumulating a skill in is now worthless. Now, that doesn't mean that you can do gameplay changes without... Now, that was shit of me. This doesn't mean you can't do gameplay changes and have them be good. No, of course you can have good gameplay changes. But it's all in how you handle it. So, to give a for instance, a good gameplay change is the chase levels. It introduces you to a new mechanic while keeping the same control, keeping the same feeling. Making it feel like if you screw up, well, you're still doing the same thing that you've been doing. You can't blame, oh, it's because it's an X level. Because the only difference is the one variable. In this case, the fact that you're, running away from a boulder. Everything else, the platforming and everything like that, is the same. There is the difference of the camera, and some people did decry the camera in those segments. So you can already see where this point is further proven. The more levels of separation you have from your standard gameplay, the more... God damn it. The more unfair it feels to players when they inevitably fail. Preserving the same feeling throughout the game is critical to having people feel like they had a fair, fun experience. Otherwise, it feels like you were cheated, and no one wants to feel like they're cheated. In fact, if there was a, big book of how to design a game, Rule 1 would be make sure your player never feels like they've been cheated. No one likes it. It's obnoxious, it's not fun, and it really takes away from the enjoyment of the game. To give you a great example of this, no one is just going to accept something taken away from them. For instance, lag. How many times have you heard someone complain about lag? How, oh, I would have been fine if it wasn't for the lag. Or, oh, if someone wasn't lagging, I would have... God fucking damn it! The timing on that is malevolent. And I keep falling for it because I'm not paying attention. But right there, that's kind of my point. You want to minimize the amount of ways that you can basically make someone look at something and say, my failure wasn't justified. And varied gameplay where you take away the standard feeling of the game is doing exactly that. It's making people think that they failed and it wasn't their fault. I can easily say to myself when I fuck up, oh, I fucked up. It's why we decry unfair difficulty, because it's not fair. It makes us feel like we were wronged. Fuck you. The less levels of separation you have, the more okay people are going to feel with a certain section that maybe isn't just like your standard gameplay section. Again, Hog Wild feels relatively okay because you're still doing a platformer. It still controls almost the same as the regular Crash levels, just with a little extra, I guess you could say. If that makes sense to any of you guys. And it might sound whiny and bitchy and like, oh, well, you're just complaining because you can't do it. And, you know, in a way you're right, but this, again, just emphasizes my point. People don't like feeling cheated. And people are never going to respond well when you make them feel like they were cheated. It's all subconscious in why we feel cheated in this aspect. Hey, Top Hat Gaming. Yeah, no, since I'm not going for gems, I'm not too worried about getting all the boxes. If I ever come back and do a gem hunting series, I'll definitely remember that. But in fact, I think that might actually be a true statement for all of the levels in the last warp room because of the bazooka. Thank you for subscribing, Riku. I'm glad you could make it. Most days, this is going to be the time that we're doing the streaming. But, keep on our, you can check in, like, I'm going to be trying to do more scheduling of streams. But, always check our Twitter, at Gamecidal, and we will post on weekends when we have special different time streams. Have a good night, though. And yeah, I know, I lost the gem. I don't want to get the gem. Why are you roasting to death? Is it really hot where you are? To Top Hat Gaming, he said he's freaking roasting. Oh god, I never noticed how terrifying that face is. Jesus! Make that the new poster child for Rape Face. That is terrible. Naughty Dog, why? Oh, let me know if you guys are interested. So when I was a kid, I loved Beast Wars, Transformers Beast Wars. It was my favorite TV series. I still think it fucking holds up today. But there's a couple of PS1 games for it. Let me know if you guys are interested in watching me stream that, because I would love to do that shit. I am going to die. Oh, maybe not, maybe not. Yeah, alright, I'm alive. This level, again, really feeds into that whole game feel thing I was saying earlier. Again, if they had just done another blimp level, essentially, with higher difficulty, that would have been fine, but this makes you feel like you're doing something different than the last level. Again, degrees of separation. Not to mention, again, this frickin' ruins you as far as, if you're expecting, you know, if you've gotten good at the, platformer levels and suddenly have to do this shit. Oh my god, I just want to get through this level. But yeah, let me know if you guys are up for some PS1, yeah. Some, Beast Wars stuff. And 30s, sorry, dumb American here. 30 Celsius is like... Oh god, like mid to upper 90s in Fahrenheit, I believe. So yeah, pretty feckin' hot. I am super happy to pay out the butt to be running 2 air conditioners in my apartment, both a nice high BTUage. I don't mess around with the weather. Yeah, I'm a pussy, but I'm a cool pussy, so... Willing to admit that I really do like this level, actually. It gave me the creeps when I was a kid. I actually used to have a fairly big fear of, like, oh, come on! I got to the other side. I actually used to have a pretty big fear of, like, ancient Egyptian stuff. Don't ask me why, I just did. So, yeah, this creeped me out. The idea of roaming around an ancient subterranean ruin with things creeping just didn't exactly do it for me. I love this. I love that this became a thing in future Crash Bandicoot games. The victory lap with the Aku Aku masks. Super cool, and I was always super glad after this game when they ended up including it in later ones. I do actually quite like this level. That is true Top Hat Gaming. I never really realized that the warp ball just kind of does appear out of nowhere and be like, oh, hey, Crash, you're done. Good job. Here, I've also made the crystal show up. So just like, there's that. Congrats on not dying. Well, speaking of dying. Can I get through this without... These doors stress me out on this level. It's always the reason why I end up running out of Firefly juice. You would think that they would have taken that into account and, like, made sure that the Firefly was around long enough for you to... Ah, well, whatever. Yay, level over. So, we're about to beat Wrath of Cortex. Aw, it is actually rather cute and sad. Crash being like, You killed my warp ball, buddy. Well, more like, wow! Or however you would do his, I thought this was... I thought this was creepy as shit. The fact that Cortex just laughs at you for a while. It actually makes him really imposing. Alright, here we go. Crash Bandicoot Warped. I love that they have ruins from, like, the first game in the background. This... God, this game has some really cool aspects to it. Huh. Trying to think if I've ever died to that before. I know, I remember this being a relatively, god damn it, easy boss fight my first time. Hold on a second. Yeah, that is true. He kind of is pretty passive about trying to kill you in this fight. The real danger in this fight really is the shit going on with the masks. But I do love that that kind of makes it sort of a nice little platforming boss as well. They made it so that, you know, the point of the boss is dealing with avoiding obstacles the same way you would in a normal level. I mean, don't get me wrong, this isn't exactly normal, but god damn it. It's putting your running and jumping skills to the test in a way that I feel is befitting to the rest of the game. Okay, you can jump over the... I couldn't remember if you could actually jump over these or not. It's been forever since I've done this. God damn it! No, it's really not that hard. I'm just sucking really bad right now, though. Now, well, last boss of this game. Huh. I just realized you can probably hit him with the bazooka. I've never even thought about doing that. Like, when his shield is down. The things you don't think of when you're a kid. Oh, jeez. God damn it. Ah! Gotcha that time, bitch. Thought I wasn't gonna. The shield is coming back up. God damn it. Huh, that's right. This game actually supports analog controls. I'm playing it with a D-pad this whole time because I think I've mentioned that as a kid I didn't have a DualShock controller, so it just feels natural to me to play it without analog control. So the realization of, oh hey, I can use analog is like fucking mind-blowing to me right now. Jesus fucking hell, they're relentless. And I'm... Ah! Yeah, I know, I need to stay away from him, but I keep getting nervous about the whirling vortex of laser death that keeps popping out of my fucking camera view. God fucking shit! God fucking damn! I promise this isn't going to take up a whole stream. There. Fuck you, alright. That takes care of the... Oh, that's right, you actually have to aim him. I forgot about that. Alright. That does it for the harder part of the... I actually remember the last part of this not being super hard. Yeah, you just stay away from that shit. It's telegraphed like crazy, so... It's not like they move once they start doing it, so... God! Son of a fucking you! God! I'm okay. I was so close as all. Just bitch sniped me from across the room. Yeah, no, I actually like this boss. I really do. The fact that it's this challenging is very refreshing compared to the other shit in the Crash games as far as their sad excuses for bosses go. He keeps sniping me with the fucking mines! I don't know. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even aim them at you, but oh my god, it feels like he is. You know what? You know what? There. Hi, how you doing, Mixed Layers? You walked right into me losing my ever-loving mind. On the surface, it's not hard. That's the worst part. On the surface, this isn't hard. Oh my god, just go down the hole! Jesus! Okay. Come on. Let's go, bitch. You, me. You, me. That's right. Suck this bandit dick. Bandit cock actually probably would have been funnier. Shit. No humble brag there, Top Hat, right? Oh, you want to talk about not fair, Cortex? Bitch. Alright, cool. Well, that's Crash Bandicoot Warped, everybody. So we are going to go ahead and move our way to Wrath of Cortex, and oh boy, are you guys in for some bitching. If you guys thought that I was bad there, you guys have not seen pure, unadulterated rage. I'll be right back. It's going to be a bit of a transition period while I set things up. So, sorry about this. Ooh. I'm actually now a little worried that I'm not going to be able to do this while I have OBS up. Cha-cha-cha. Yeah, I'll be able to do it. Hopefully you guys can still hear me while I'm setting things up. It shouldn't take long. With any luck. Alright, sorry you guys have to deal with me configuring this stuff on the fly. But, oh, good. Gonna be a pain about this. Just one moment. There we go. Alright, as long as everything is okay. Yeah, no, that's actually one of the things that I'm going to be bitching about is the controls. Because the controls for this game are absolute shit. In fact, pretty much everything about this game is shit. While I have a moment, I'm going to go ahead and do something with my phone real quick. Because it decided to change itself, or change how it does things to randomly shut my display off. So I told it to never ever put itself to sleep. But anywho, right. Oh, right. Yeah, we do want to actually do a new game. Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually one of my complaints right out the gates. The loading times in this game are utterly atrocious. And no, I actually don't know the level 4 Platinum Relic glitch, because I don't do... For the most part, I don't do... Oh! Hey, apparently you can skip the intro cutscene. Does anyone actually want to go back and watch the intro cutscene? Please let me know. Because if nobody says that they want to go back and watch it, I'm gonna skip it. Because it looks terrible. While I'm waiting a couple seconds just to make sure I don't have any responses. Oh my god, everything wrong with this game. Alright, first of all, it looks ugly. Crash's eyes being such different sizes just looks bad. His idle animations were never this weird. In place of the little, like, nice spotted back that he had, this is weird diamond. Like, seriously, it's straight up just, like, yellow diamond. Why? He looks more squat. His face is like a circle in the middle of his body instead of being like, he almost had like a shoulder-ish area, and then, yeah, there was no neck, but his head was like right there, kind of like he was turtling his head. But it seriously looks like his head is part of his torso now. The run. He looks way too bouncy. Yes, Crash always had a bit of a bouncy run to him, but this is cartoony to the point of exaggeration. Another thing, obviously the load times are fucking atrocious. But
what are you looking at,
oh yeah,
fuzzhead?
that's right.
I'm Rocco, the Earth Elemental. Uka Uka and Dr. Cortex woke me from my captive slumber, and now I'm free to pulverize whatever gets in my way. Oh, don't even think about collecting those crystals, Runt. Because if you do, I'm gonna burn you
is
alive.
Voiced by someone different. This mask, I'm pretty sure, is voiced by the bully from Back to the Future. The second one is voiced by the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, whose name I can never remember, Gunny or something like that. The fire one is voiced by Mark Hamill, and the wind one is voiced by the guy who voices Wacko Warner. I'm using the references that people are most likely going to recognize. So, here I have problems. Theming in Crash games has always been pretty good. But what even is this? Just some random generic winter tundra area? Also, those are the stiffest flags I've ever seen. They are so... They don't move at all. Like, how much starch? How much starch is required for that? Also, everything has this lumpy, lopsided look to it. I don't get why. It doesn't fit in with the previous Crash aesthetic. Now, I know they were doing the whole, like, you know, this is the next generation of gaming. Everything has to be full polygons. Nothing can just be textures. But the lump of fruit actually don't look that bad. But the crates, though, they don't look like Crash Bandicoot crates. Now, another thing I'm going to complain about. Watch these TNT crates. Remember the huge fiery explosion in the first 3 had? Look at that. Little whimpery poof. Nothing looks the way that I expect something in a Crash game to look. Also, for whatever reason, he has like, this isn't just the ice level. Every level has this slippy kind of feel to it, where it like, see how I'm kind of like almost drifting as I turn? Yeah, it does that. I'm not a big fan of that. You just look at these animations, they just don't look as clean. Even that, I wasn't even sure if I hit the crate or if it was just doing random animation. It all sucks. Like, there's so much I can complain about with this game. And I haven't even really started the game yet. I'm not even through the first level and I'm already ranting like a bitch. Everything lacks impact. Nothing feels like visceral like the first games did. When you broke a crate in the first games, you knew you broke a crate. It was an accomplishment. It gave you nice responsive sound effects, nice, hard, like, visual effects. This game, and Crash, like, didn't exactly recoil from it, but it had substance. These things just kind of fall apart in front of you. Jumping feels awkward and off. I feel like he spends more time in the air with his jump. It doesn't feel very impactful because look at the jumping animation. In the old Crash games, it was smooth. You're suddenly jumping. Now, look at this. It looks like he just lifts off the ground. It doesn't look like a jump. It looks like he's just kind of suddenly floating into the air. And let's talk about the overuse of polygons while I'm at this. I get that they wanted to make it smooth. This is PS2 and all that shit. But oh my god, even the life counter looks terrible! Why? What was wrong with the 2D art? The 2D art was iconic. It was smooth. It looked nice. This looks like shit. That in the upper right-hand corner looks like shit. It looks less like a token and more like you're just collecting a disembodied Crash Bandicoot head. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, let me do that real quick. I think it was the change in console that did it. I am really sorry about that, guys. When I switched consoles, it decided to turn my volume all the way back up on my gaming console. God damn it. Another thing, and yes, I agree with the whole Traveler's Tales statement. And I actually have another game that I played a lot when I was a kid that I actually hate by them as well, Rascal. We actually have a partial Let's Play on it, but I was repeatedly dying, and because levels in Rascal take forever, if I failed, that meant it could be multiple videos, or many videos on one level, which just isn't fun to see. And the fact that it's a cumulative live thing, so even when you save, you only have the lives that you last had. Lives aren't easily found, and yeah. Alright, let me turn the game volume up a little bit. Boop. There we go. You know, Traveler's Tales back in the day weren't super great. They got better, don't get me wrong, but... Well, look. No Death Route. I am super excited for Crash next Friday. That's the entire reason that this stream is even happening. I I want to get through as many of the platformers as possible before Insane Trilogy comes out. Okay, that's fine. Oh, you son of a bitch, you didn't start me back before the no death route. You sent me all the way back here. You son of a bitch. Whatever. I don't really care that much. Again, not going for gems, just getting crystals and getting through the game. And speaking of the end, there's the end of the level. Now, that's another thing. Crash Bandicoot games, for the most part, feel pretty... Well, I missed one somewhere. I am going to actually do that relic thing. Or relic attempt on level 4. Because that actually... I'm interested in what's going to happen, so... You have piqued my interest, sir. Yeah, I have an enormous amount of things to complain about with this game. Another thing about this game is the vehicle segments. I'd already complained about the vehicle segments, how they don't feel like the platforming levels at all. They don't share any elements with them. It breaks the game feel. It makes it feel segmented, choppy, awkward, and most of them have like mechanics that are kind of throwaway. You don't really experience them again, which means you're basically just... You may as well be playing Mario Party with the rapidly changing gameplay styles. Oh, Jesus! Suddenly loud Coco is suddenly loud. I hate this level. I hate these levels. I hate everything about them. I hate how it shows you your Wumpa Fruit going forever, but you have to be stupidly close to actually hit these tornado makers. I hate that I can't see where I'm taking damage from. Every now and then I just hear Crash do his little ow, and then my percentage of health goes down, but I don't know, I'm not super worried about it. Oh, good. Good for you. And what is this even supposed to be? Like, I get it, there's a farm, and Cortex decided to make some weather things make tornadoes so he can destroy a farm? I don't get it! What's the point? It's like they had an idea for a level, but had no idea how to execute it, so they were just like, who cares? Just whatever, this is what the level is now. Why? Give me a reason, give me an excuse. I can understand most of the platforming levels because it's a platforming level. I can understand the races, like the motorcycle races in the third game, because at least then you're racing Cortex's minions. You're all trying to get to the crystal. Very nice of them to go ahead and let you try again. But still, you're racing for the crystal. That made sense. What the fuck was that? I can even suspend my disbelief on the flying segments in the, like, in this, the third game as well, because you're shooting down Cortex's stuff. You're trying to get the gem from them. You're trying to defend it from them. Fine. What was that, though? Am I supposed to assume that the crystal is on one of the farms and he's trying to use the tornadoes to get the crystal? That's literally the only justification I can make, and that is so tenuous it's not even funny. Yeah, and you're right. The warp device does look like shit compared to the warp ball from 3. And you're also very right about air crunch being good. But there's one big problem that I have with air crunch. Oh god, the Atlas spheres. There's one big problem I have with air crunch as well. It's just engine, but worse. No, seriously. You can only attack him immediately before he's going to attack and with the part of his body that he's going to attack with. That's just engine. It's seriously just a worse engine. And let's talk about the Atlas Sphere stages for a second, because I'm pissed and I'm not going to take it anymore. These somehow are one of the best aspects of the game. How? How in a platformer is a stupid roll the ball segment the best part? Have you ever heard someone be like, oh yeah, my favorite parts of Galaxy were the parts where you have to roll a ball around and try not to fall off the fucking ledge? Anyone? No, of course not, because it sucks. The only game this has ever worked in well is Super Monkey Ball. And that's because the game was built around it. It was built with the developers had the knowledge of what they were doing from the start. They built the whole game around it and made sure the mechanic was tight. You could also say Katamari Damacy, however you pronounce it, also has that. But again, it's all about the fact that they built the game from the ground up for it. Outside of platforming, this is the best part of the game. That tells you exactly how shit all the vehicle segments in this game are. I don't think they're fun, varied gameplay. I think it's an obligation added to you as a player. And the worst part is, they make going fast so rewarding in this. It really is. It feels so rewarding to get top speed in this. But top speed is a death sentence. Going top speed around this curve means getting flung out. Which is infuriating because it's the best feeling thing about these levels. Going really fast. It's not like Sonic where going really fast is like, you know, a good gameplay-inspired reward for doing well. In this, it's more like, go fast and you will die, no questions. And I know, some people, this was some people's childhood. This, like, some people, this was their Crash Bandicoot 1 or 2 or 3. Like, this was the game that they loved from the Crash series. I get that. But I honestly feel like it's just an inferior product. If they remastered this along with Twin Sanity and, I don't know, the Game Boy games, I would be totally okay with it being called the Inferior Trilogy. Or Quadrilogy. And to be honest, even as a kid, I don't think I would have enjoyed this. I did not have this game as a kid. I wanted it, but, you know, I didn't get games very often, and there were games that I was much more interested in having than this. I did not have my own money as a child. I had to rely on my parents to buy games for me. And I usually got, like, you know, 1, maybe 2 on Christmas or birthdays. That was it. And I'm not, like, upset about that or anything, but I think if I had gotten this or Spyro Year of the Dragonfly, another game on PS2 that was terrible and rushed, that I wanted as a kid, I would have been very disappointed. I think it would have spoiled Crash for me a little bit. And Spyro, obviously. And by the way, Anime Conquistador and Adam, last name that I'm not going to try and pronounce because I will butcher it, I'm so sorry. Welcome. Glad to have you watching. Oh, another thing. When you're done watching this, go ahead and look up, if you haven't played Rascal before, look up Rascal. And look up the, I don't know, just type in castle level theme or something like that. And then compare it to the theme for this level. I'm not joking, they're practically the same. Which is very annoying because Traveler's Tales also made Rascal. Like, seriously, they pretty much completely, like, took the song, ripped it right from Rascal, and played it again. Ah, well, I missed that crate. Ah, well. Well, that was terrible. Yeah, it's not the exact same theme. It's more like they sampled their own music, which is also stupid. But yeah, it's not the same exact music, just has a lot of similar sounds and feels to it. Hell, they even did this exact thing. See the big open pits that have like fire or something underneath them? In the Rascal Castle level, they actually had a very similar thing. There was a kitchen area, and the floors had these big, open, fiery pits. They actually had little flaming rocks coming out of them, like coals, I assume. But, and again, though it wasn't chasing you, there was actually a segment with a giant, green, goofy-looking dragon. They kind of self-plagiarized for this level. Also, I hate the smoke in front of that one pit that I died down earlier. Because it's very misleading. It makes it hard to see where the edge of the platform that you're standing on is and causes you to make a little further of a gap or jump than you normally would. Ugh. I know. Yeah, like that. Like those coals right there. Exactly like that is what they did in the castle level of Rascal. Jesus. And I know how many different ways are you supposed to make a castle level, but it's pretty bad. They even had a very similar texture to this on the floor of some areas to represent hay and wheat and such. God damn it, I didn't realize I didn't have an Aku Aku. Alright, back through this section again. It's not too long. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rascal was a... I don't know about commercial failure, but I know it was a critical failure. Pretty sure it was a commercial failure because they never tried to make a sequel. And if something sells well on the PS1, god damn it. Also, goddamn, Adam, you got all of the platinum relics on this game. You are incredible. That's dedication I do not have in the slightest. Oh my god, these wizards. Well, actually, Traveler's Tales isn't a failure anymore. They definitely were. But now they make the Lego games, which are hugely successful, and if you've ever played one, actually not bad. I know that they're a little copy and paste at the moment, but they're actually good games in their own right. Like, as far as simple, easy entertainment that even a small child could enjoy, kind of good game. But no, definitely Traveler's Tales back when they were making this shit, yeah, they sucked as a company. Not going to defend them against that. Well, one thing is that they don't really have to go outside their comfort zone now that they've struck gold with the Lego games. There's no reason for them to do anything else because, hey, it's working thus far, right? And you can be a hardcore Crash fan without liking this game. My opinion on being a fan of something is fandom is not undying loyalty and support. Fandom is caring enough to bitch when they do wrong. Like, you can be a fan of something and point out its flaws, as long as you're willing to say where they did okay. And there are okay things about this game. It's not unplayable. It's not the most glitchy game ever. It's not entirely terrible in any facet. I mean, it's really bad, but, like, it's not unplayable. It's a serviceable game. I can say that. But as a Crash game, it is so inferior to everything that came before it. Twinsanity, I actually just picked up recently. I haven't played it before, so I'm actually hoping we get to it. After this game, we're going to do the 2 Game Boy Advance games, and then we're going to go into Twinsanity. Okay. So you said, hold on, I gotta go back to the comments. Grab the clock, break the 2 first time boxes, then press the select button. Got it. What? I'm sorry, what? Why? Why, though? I mean, I know exactly what happened. They probably had that as a, as, like, a testing mechanism to make sure that things work. There's probably other levels that it was in. They just forgot to remove that one, take you right to the end of the level so that you can, like, test time trial stuff really quick. But, oh my god. I have no words. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought, that it was left over from development. But, oh my god! That is so crazy. Alright, here we go. Minecarts. Again, this goes with what I was saying earlier. It doesn't feel like the same game at all at this point. And I'm pretty sure, actually, I'm going to put the controller down. Nope, this is not the part. Okay. There's one of these minecart segments where you can actually not press anything and you won't die. Yeah, you won't get all the crates, but you won't die. It must be a later level, though. That's just me not paying attention. How do you not... Oh, it must be have to lean the other way. Another thing with this game that I don't get, I've never really had problems with like depth perception and 3D platformers. But this game, something about the lighting, something about the textures, something about it, I just am not super great with like depth perception with this level, or this game at all. I don't know why, but I'm just not. Ah, son of a bitch. I really don't like this game. But it is a Crash game, and I have so much to talk about with it that I definitely don't want to miss the opportunity to give myself a personal soapbox to bitch about it. Because there is, admittedly, a lot to bitch about with this. Jesus. It's hitting right in there, isn't it? And again, I love Crash Bandicoot, but I'm not going to mindlessly accept everything about it without consequence. Also, all of this just looks terrible. It looks so flat. There's no, like... Everything looks like plastic. Like, I see these surfaces that are supposed to be like, you know, big metal machinery and stuff, and all I see is a bunch of plastic. And again, I like that these are kind of like some of these enemies are kind of like a throwback to the first Crash game. But just referencing something doesn't make your thing good. Yes, no, seriously. Lego game before they started making them. Also, the bounce on the crate, it's so slow. That's another complaint I have about this game, period. All the animations are either spastic and out of nowhere, or so ungodly slow. I know, I'm bitching about things that don't need to be bitched about, but... Well, yeah, of course you hate the bonus theme in this game. The bonus theme is literally just the main Warp Room song. With a slight filter over it. Like, how could anyone go, oh yeah, no, that compares to the stuff we got in Warped? God damn it. And did you see that animation? What animation? Just his eyes and shoes falling from the sky? Exactly. He just kind of vanishes and then his eyes and shoes appear. Ugh. Like, look how slowly he ducks down. He, like, carefully places his hands down and everything. In the first game, it was... Or second and third game. It was a quick little... Shoop! He just tucked himself down. This looks like he's being very careful not to hurt his hip. Ugh. The game doesn't feel as snappy, it doesn't feel as rewarding, it doesn't feel as fun. It's just flawed. And thank you, I'm glad that I make it fun to watch with my commentary. That's the entirety of what I want to do. And I hope you're talking about the game itself and not my gameplay. I know I'm not the greatest, but I hope I'm not unwatchably bad. I mean, I admit I might be unwatchably bad, but it's not... Okay. So this boss has so many problems. Also, what's with his goatee? Why does he have a goatee? Like... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Yeah, no, it was like the, what, early aughts? So yeah, goatee was about the right time. It was about the right time for a goatee to be like, yeah, I'm a manly, cool dude. Also, this character, like, Crunch in general is just so much edge. A metal arm, he's big and buff, commando boots. Freaking hilarious. Alright, now if I can just lose a little bit of the momentum so I don't go past the boulder. Remember everything I was complaining about with the Atmosphere stages? This is amplified so much in this. But then they add that you have to go fast. But the physics make it terrible to try and go fast. And thank you, I actually do random character voices. I haven't tried Crunch before, but I actually do random character voices in my free time. Because I love voice acting, and I'm gonna get hurt. Okay, nope. Come on. Come on, just let me turn! Just let me turn! Come on, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it! Yes! Insert joke about blue balls, because that's funny. Right, guys? Guys? Blue ball joke? Haha. God, I hate this boss. Would you stop bumping into balls? Please? Please? Obligatory ball joke. God damn it! This level just doesn't feel satisfying, and it takes a Herculean effort to just turn. I know any second now one of my balls is gonna go back to being a normal one, and there we go. Alright, one try. And I know everyone has said it at this point, but good God, the upgrade you get from this boss is useless. Abso-freaking-lutely useless. Like, yes, it literally has some use, but a good power-up is something that you can use outside of the expected usage. Situational power-ups may as well just be keys. I mean, like, the bazooka, you could literally destroy any box from any area with it. The running shoes aren't just good for time trials, they're good for just, you know, running through levels that you enjoy and want to play them fast. The double jump has so many uses. The maximum spin has so many uses. This is why Mega Man feels so gratifying to play. And I'm not the biggest Mega Man fan, I actually have to say that. But I appreciate the fact that Mega Man lets you use the different Robot Master weapons in different ways. Ways that you can have fun and use them. And oh god, it's a cutscene. Also, apparently this is a VR... I actually have to bitch about this one. Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, the fact that you wouldn't be able to beat level 25 without the sneak shoes. You're right, you wouldn't. But there was no need to make that an ability. Basically, they made an ability and put it somewhere so that you needed the ability to get through it. But that doesn't even matter. Without the ability, you just wouldn't have that obstacle. They put the ability in to use it somewhere where you need it, that you had to get it to be able to get to that point anyways. It's useless. It's pointless. It's self-insistent, awkward, and I don't like it very much. So, yeah. Anywho, that's actually... I'm going to end the stream here. Actually, I am going to bitch about this for a little bit. So, this is apparently a VR warp room. So, do these levels not exist? I've actually always wondered that. Like, do these levels actually not exist? Are they just virtual representations of trying to get the crystals in a digital format? Or is this actually a warp room, and for some reason, they decided to give it a virtual reality overface? Coco even mentions that this is a VR area, a VR warp room. Why? What purpose does that serve? I don't get it. What was wrong with warp rooms like the one from the second game, or the Time Twister? Like, I get that those were, like, situational and, like, for certain reasons. But it makes fuck all more sense than this. Anyways, I'm leaving. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Once again, 5 to 7, right here, this channel. We'll be continuing this game. We probably won't finish it. The levels in this game take a lot longer than the other ones. So, I will see you all tomorrow. 5 p.m. Sorry, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or Eastern Daylight Time. We're now in Daylight Savings. Whatever. But anyway, I hope to see you all then. And, well, I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.